Hey everybody, I wanted to share the assignment for today with you and make a quick video to just explain what you need to do. On the right hand side here is a write-up of all of the things I want you to work on today. And it's a little long, but I think you've already done like half of it. And some of this is just to explain what's going on. I'll get to that in a second. On the left-hand side of my screen, I've got the experimental design that we've been working on. You should have already completed the yellow and green sections. If you haven't finished those yet, you should start working on those and finish them. Your variable you were given in class, and then the green part, you're going to write your hypothesis, which is essentially a CER, a claim, evidence, and reasoning, that's going to answer your experimental question in the yellow section. So if your question was about how many blades generate the most electricity, then your claim will tell me this is the number of blades that will generate the most electricity. And you're going to gather the evidence for that from this worksheet here that we worked on previously. You've turned them in, so I will resubmit them back to you so that you can use them. But you should be able to gather your evidence from this part and use it to write your claim here. I think this is the right number of blades because Newton said this and this and this, and that all makes sense to me, so I'm writing it as my hypothesis down here as a reasoning statement. Once that green section is finished, the new assignment is to move on to the blue section here. And this is the last step before we start building your windmills. So you're going to need to create a data table here where you can collect your data. And so you're going to need to insert a chart in here or build one in Excel and copy and paste it in. But remember that you're going to want to put your independent variable down the left side of that worksheet. So like the number of blades, continuing that example, 3 blades, 4 blades, 5 blades, whatever the numbers are going to be, down the left-hand side. And then across the top, we're going to do three trials and find an average of those. Below that, you're going to write in the procedure. And that part's going to be a little trickier because you only have kind of an idea of what we're going to do. And that's going to bring me to this worksheet over here on the right. So this assignment here is going to explain for you what it is you're supposed to do. It says that your assignment for today is to continue working on your wind turbine experiment worksheet. Here's a link to that blank copy. You should have already completed the first 2 sections. We already said that. The yellow section is about identifying your experimental question and the variables you will be using. The green section is a CER that builds to your hypothesis. You can get evidence from your copy of the windmill design board, which is going to link you to that sheet again. We haven't started the blue portion yet. You'll need to start that when you are done with the previous sections. Do the following. Here's your data table. Remember the things I just told you, and those should explain that. Then you're going to write a procedure, and the experiment should look like this. We're going to put a box fan, set it to speed 2, I don't know, maybe 3, at one end of a table, and your windmill is going to be mounted to the other end of the table, or you're going to hold it there. Attach the windmill to a multimeter, and then so as you hold the fan in front of the wind, it's going to spin, your windmill will, and you'll need to record the highest value that you see over a certain amount of time. So how long you let the fan blow is up to you. I wouldn't do it for more than 30 seconds. You're just kind of wasting time after that. Make sure you give everyone jobs. Someone's going to have to watch that timer for each trial. Someone else is going to have to record the data. Somebody's going to have to hold the fan, look at the multimeter, and you're not going to be able to double up on those roles very much because it's going to be very hard to watch a clock for 30 seconds and also then watch the multimeter. You're never going to be able to do both of those at the same time. So make sure you figure out who's going to do what, and remember that some of us are on quarantine for another week or so. When you're done with the procedure, it should be a complete list of instructions to perform your experiment. This should include detailed plans for making your different fans. This means measurements of each piece and patterns to trace for each one. Unless you're changing the number of blades on your windmill, assume that there are only 3 blades, and the dimensions of those blades should be around 4 to 6 inches long. They shouldn't be huge. You have flexibility here, so feel free to be creative. Change the size of things as you need to. If 30 seconds isn't enough, make it a little longer. You have flexibility here. And I'll be in tomorrow and we can go back over these things. I don't expect you to be finished with all of this at the end of the day today. You can try to email me if you have questions. I will have my cell phone on me, but I don't know how available I'll be. So if you run into an area where you get stuck, just move on to the next thing. Make your best guess at what you think is the right answer and move forward. If we have to go back and fix something about your procedure because you wrote it down in a way that doesn't make sense, that's okay. The important part is that you get your procedure set up and you create a data table where you can gather data. If you're done with all of that, start making patterns for your blades. Figure out just on a blank sheet of paper and a ruler, measure the sizes of them. If you're going to do different lengths, pick out what those lengths are going to be and draw me what you think the blade should look like. You have all the freedom in the world on this, so use it. Hopefully that's enough to keep you going. If you run into any problems, let me know. But we should be able to get back to this tomorrow. Take it easy.